Hey y'all, my name is Iman Hill, and we're back again with Outpour LGBTQ. I'm here with Toni Bryce, and today we are having a conversation centered around Trans Awareness Week. Hi Toni, what's going on? How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. It's our week.
It is.
How
yes,
you
God.
doing?
I'm all right. I feel like Trans Awareness Week for me starts off on a high note because, of course, we have so much to offer and things of that nature. But as we kind of go further into the week, we land on the last day at Trans Day of Remembrance. So that for me always gets a little shaky, especially now having lost close members in my life who are of trans experience. It really does hit home for me as we acknowledge this week and just kind of bring awareness to our community as a whole.
I haven't had, and maybe it's because of where I'm from, and I didn't grow up in places where I've had like a lot of trans friends, so to speak. But what I will say is it does get tough because towards the end of the week, you start to remember all of the lives that have been lost, whether you knew them or whether you didn't know them.
Right.
And I think for me, though I haven't lost many friends, one thing that sticks out to me is going to New York in 2011. And I met Lorena Extravaganza. Okay. I don't know if you remember her. We were at the Latex Ball. We went back to her house, the same house where the incident happened, and we were just laughing, joking, talking, chilling. Then me and my best friend, we left. We went back to her dorm, and then I went back to college in Missouri, and next thing I know, that happened. So that was probably the closest, I guess, one of those type of situations has happened to me. Though we were not like close friends, that was somebody I actually got to meet and talk to and sit in her home, and for that to happen in that same place, that was crazy. But yeah.
You've been in Atlanta for a really long time, but you said Missouri, so you're originally from Missouri?
So I'm originally from East St. Louis, Illinois. But I just say St. Louis in general, because it is still St. Louis. It's just on the other side of the Mississippi River. Okay. But yeah, that's originally where I'm from. I've lived in Atlanta for, I want to say, since 2016, so 5 years? 6 years? Five. It'll be 6 years at the top of next year.
So I don't matter. She's from here now. She's an Atlanta native now. So being from the South and just having just obviously rooted in Southern culture growing up in your upbringing, I know you did P Valley last year, and I know you're working on it now, but being someone, despite being trans, being someone of Southern roots, what was that like just to be a part of a show that was dedicated to Southern culture? And then on another layer, what was it like as a trans woman for that to be your upbringing and your surroundings? What was it like to just be immersed in kind of like, almost like a feeling of home, I guess? Would that be something that you could describe it as?
Well, how do I answer this question? Because when I didn't start, like, I feel like transitioning, my identity or our identity for me is spiritual. It's all, like, it's been a spiritual journey. Right. But I didn't physically started, what am I trying to say? I didn't physically there we go, make that transition until I actually moved here in 2016. Okay. So for me, I grew up and I identified, I don't know if anybody knows B Love Scott. B Love Scott? You remember B Love Scott from YouTube?
I'm a young girl, you know. I'm a baby. I'm a baby.
But B Love Scott taught me about the term androgyny. Okay. Or androgynous or androgyny. And so I grew up in a space where I knew I didn't identify as like gay or anything, but I was born, assigned male at birth and in his body. So it just never, for me, it never registered. So I always knew who I was. It was just the journey of getting here. So to go into P Valley and have the experiences that my character Nineveh had, I have never experienced that. I've never been a woman of trans experience that have been taken to jail and put in a man's cell. But what I can say is to go through, to be that character and go through that and to see it on screen and to like see the response, I feel like people missed what it was really about because they seen the comedy. And me and Katori Hall, which is the creator of the show, we had a conversation about that on Twitter when it happened. And actually, oddly enough, somebody inboxed me either yesterday or today saying, hey, I seen you on P Valley. And I was like, okay. And I said, you know what? So what did you learn from that scene? And he was like, oh, it was funny. Okay, so you didn't learn what...
You missed the point.
You missed the point. So, and even here, I mean, we're in the South, period, because people get really you know, in their religion and whatever. Because the first line that she says is, will you please honor my request to be moved to the ladies' cell? And he says, that's not my call, that's God calls. That's God call. I would let you call him, but the payphone's dead. So it's like, it's crazy, but it's really happening. I personally have not experienced it, but it's really happening in the real world.
Well, a little fact about me is that I just recently had an experience here in Atlanta.
Really?
I was incarcerated for a week here in Clayton County. I got arrested in the airport, and like 7 police officers jumped on me in the middle of TSA. So you know when you go to the airport and you're going through that big room.
And that's big. That's a big line here.
So everybody is looking, and just I didn't see your episode until after I had gotten out, but I think the show was already out. I was just late to kind of catch it. So seeing that instantly triggered me, and I just say shout out to you for telling that story. But we do have resources for trans people who are going through that. We have TGI Justice, which is a fabulous organization that hosts transgender and gender non-conforming people who are struggling with the justice system. They actually have relieved many cases. They have expunged many cases. They have represented many of us in their fight to close their case, whatever that case may be. But thank you for doing that. And as someone who has actually lived that experience, it's so important that we talk about that, because that was my only request. You know, I knew that, you know, they would say, oh, you were disturbing the peace, or you were causing commotion. But the only thing that I requested was to be in the ladies' cell.
It validates what I felt when I watched it back with the rest of, you know, America watching the show, being that I didn't feel like they got what that scene was about.
Right.
They didn't get. So to sit here and not know that, but now know that you went through that, that makes how I felt even validated beyond measure, because to know I personally haven't experienced it, but you have.
Right.
And that was your request. Shout out to the writers' room in P-Valley. Shout out to Katori Hall for including that story, because that is a truly lived experience for a lot of people. And you being one of them, that's crazy.
So when I was finally able to see that episode, first I cried, but I was able to see the humor in it. But like that person told you, that's not the point of what Katori and the other producers wrote in that show. The point is to, and I think that maybe there could have been a little bit more directness, but the point was to make that, first of all, she's a woman.
Yeah.
And it's clear that she does not belong there. But because of your own ignorance and your own bigotry, you've allowed her to suffer through God knows what.
Right.
Because had Nineveh's story continued and we were able to see what she went through on a day-to-day basis, some of the things I went through, deprivation of medication, catcalling, prostitution in jails, like those are things that, had they expanded your character, you probably would have been immersed in that story. So, you know, if they are doing that with you, I don't know what your continuation will look like. But other than that, what is going on with season 2? Can we expect, you know, when can we expect maybe a release? I know you probably can't say too much, but can you give me any information about what's going on season 2?
Oh, I wish. I can tell y'all it's coming out in 2022. So we're like a month away. So who knows? I don't know when the release, but what I can say, because it's out there, per the cast putting out pictures and videos and clips on Instagram, is that they are filming. Okay. They are definitely filming season 2, and I don't think it will be worth the wait. It will be worth the wait. Yeah, tune in, get your Star subscription, go rewatch season 1. You can binge watch it now because all the episodes are out. But yeah, definitely season 2 coming out 2022.